Hey friends, I'm coming to you and I want to be transparent with some concerns that I have been walking through, some troubles that I've been facing, the enemy's attack on me. When am I not transparent, right? So I want to ask you, do you have things going on in your life that have just been extremely overwhelming? Do you feel like there's a dark cloud hanging over you? For years of my life, I felt that way, like, oh my gosh, what next? And you don't want to say what's next, right? But for years of my life, even through this point of my life, it's just been one thing after another, after another, after another. And I won't bore you with all of those things because we all have stuff. But the enemy doesn't want us to have victory. He wants us to sit and wallow in all of the muck that our life can throw at us. Well, after my daughter's wedding, I posted that I had a breakdown. I said, when was the last time you had a breakdown or something along those lines? Anyway, point was is that as soon as all of the joy of doing the wedding and everything stopped, my body just kind of collapsed and all of the emotions that I had in me just bleh, came out. And it was emotions about the wedding, my daughter, all of the things that come through that, just the emotions of what you go through for a wedding and your excitement and did you do everything right and was it enough? Did you make them happy? But it was more than that for me. I had to unload a lot of grief that I have been holding back because of my father's passing in October. And for the last few years of my life, I haven't had a whole lot of time to just stop and process much of the things that have gone on in my life because I've just had to dust myself off and just keep going because things would continue to come our way and you just have to do what you have to do, which, for over a year, including taking care of my dad. And the grief came out, and for those of you that understand grief, it comes in waves. You can think you're fine and then bam, you get slapped upside the head and your feet are pulled out from under you, things like that. And for our family, we've had a good deal of loss in the last few years, including 3 really close family members. And so when you pack it all on top of each other, and you don't do anything with it, of course, it explodes in that manner. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. What I wanted to talk to you about is what else came with that. When I tell you that the enemy attacks, he comes from all directions. The Bible tells us that he's lurking. He's lurking like a lion. He's looking to steal, kill, and destroy. So you have to take those thoughts captive when they come in your mind and say, no way, and turn it back on him and quote something that the Lord says, or just, take a positive approach and not stay in that negativity. Well, in the midst of all of that, something that came over me was this overwhelming weight that I had on me. And the weight was speaking to my soul, what's next? What's the next shoe to drop? And oh my goodness, you don't want to start thinking about that, but I started to fear in my spirit, and fear is not of the Lord, it's of the enemy. And the Bible tells us not to fear either. But those things were happening to me. Those feelings were coming over me like, oh my gosh, I can't take anymore. What's coming next? And the truth is, you can handle more because you hear that God won't give you more than you handle, but it's not exactly that way. It's that God will give you a way out. He will give you the people you need, an open door or a closed door. He gives you himself. He gives you his word to comfort and encourage and to show you the way, because he says he never leaves us nor forsakes us. And so when we are walking through those trials, he is with us. In fact, there's a wonderful passage from Isaiah 43:2, and this is what it says: "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." So what does that say? In everything that we go through, no matter how overwhelming it is in our life, that we are not alone and that God is going to take care of us. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have times where we really hurt and we suffer and we don't understand and we ask God why, and even get angry at God. I'm walking along some people right now that are going through that and just having grief and not understanding what God's plan is. But as a believer, you know that one day we will get the answers, but we have to be patient and wait for them. But as far as that overwhelming fear and worry of what is the next shoe to drop, it had really been weighing on me. And so I just had to start, praying about that, because the Lord doesn't want you living life that way. He wants you to live your life to the fullest. He doesn't want you to worry. He wants you to trust in Him. Matthew 6 talks about many, many things, but starting in verse 25, it talks about not to worry about your food, not to worry about the clothing you will wear. And it's a generalization of not worrying about your life, not worrying about how things are going to happen. Will you be provided for? Because yes, the Lord is going to provide for you. But it's in Matthew 6 verse 34, and that's where He says, this is what He says exactly: "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own." Now there you go. Stop worrying about what's coming. Stop worrying about whether you're going to be able to do this or do that, or what's happening with our economy, what's happening with these gas prices, what's happening with the prices, the price of our food and our living expenses, and all of the things that are going on. Stop worrying about the things that you can't control. What you can control is praying for your situation. You can control praying for other people that are walking through these situations, and you can trust that God is going to carry you through it, even through your darkest times. So I just wanted to encourage you, if you're dealing with something like that right now, I totally get it, and feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you and encourage you and help you through your struggle. But just know that you aren't alone. Many others are walking through the same things right now, and that God is going to take care of you. And if you don't know Jesus, if you don't know that hope that He offers, you need to learn about Jesus. And how can you do it? You can just pick up this Bible right here. Check out the New Testament. Start there. You'll learn a lot about Jesus and who He is, and why you should put your trust and faith and life into Jesus, because He will not only rescue you from the darkest, deepest pit in your life, He will give you hope for an eternal future. And friends, He is coming soon. You don't have time to think about it. You got to just get in the Word, start praying, and ask God to help you. Ask Jesus to come into your life, and then start learning about who He really is. Because once you do, you'll find a friend that will never, ever leave you. Be blessed, my friends. Until next time.